I see some of the most courageous athletes, which I consider skaters being some of the most courageous athletes in the world, literally be terrified once they get into the entrepreneurial business world.
It is definitely scary. I mean, I gave some setbacks for sure. There's times where I wanted to quit. I shipped our first distribution. We had two distribution orders that were being shipped out, and I'm doing all this by hand in my garage and trying to keep the numbers right or whatever. And I ship everything that's supposed to go to Texas, to South Shore. I ship it to Vista in Japan.
Oh no.
And they both hit me back up like, hey, we didn't order this and we didn't order this. And I was like, this sucks. I really want to quit right now, because I was just like, I'm a one-man band in my garage trying to make all this happen, and I really messed up. So that was a setback where I was really kind of unsure if I really wanted to do it. But then I realized, you know what? I wrote it off. I let them keep the shirts, no cost. Like, you just kind of have to like lose that money for that instant and then reinvest and keep going.
This is Entrepreneurs the Playbook, where I give you access each week to the world's greatest athletes and executives about their personal and professional playbook and what has made them champions on and off the field. This is the Playbook.
This is Dave Meltzer, CEO of Sports One Marketing and Entrepreneurs the Playbook. I have a really cool guest. I love skateboarders. So Joey Brezinski's here with me with Entrepreneur. And I'm going to start with, where the hell are we? Because this is a really cool pseudo studio for me. It's the Red Bull Consulate.
Yes, Red Bull Consulate. It's this place in business. Sorry.
That's all right. English is my second language.
That's mine. Well. It was too.
Go ahead.
No, this is a place in Venice. It's just a lounge where when athletes come to town, it's in the heart of Venice. Cool bars, things that happen, and it's just our hangout when we, just have a little kickback parties and.
I've been working the sponsorship side for years, and Red Bull seems like a really good sponsor. Like, they know not only how to activate, but how to take care of their athletes.
Yeah, I mean, they helped me get my knee surgery done. So, they definitely look out for us. They have an amazing gym, amazing PT crew. They get us our oil changes when they need them. And and
you're not a spring chicken anymore, so that's a big thing to think about. Most guys, when they're young, they don't realize you actually can get hurt, and it lasts a little bit. Now, you're 39, you told me.
Yep.
And one of the things, rehabbing when you're older, does it take longer, or any fears about not being able to come back?
I mean, I think with the doctors and the people we have now and the technology the way it is, I feel like pretty strong about, the things they tell me to do and what I need to get done, and then get me in the gym and show me the right things to do to get back on my board.
So a lot of people, I'm about 11 years older than you, but when I was young, skateboarding wasn't a sport, right?
Yeah.
It was kind of the guys that were slackers, or, what we called stoners. And I would get a lot of shit because I skateboard, on the boardwalks of South Mission, and people were like, and meanwhile, I studied really hard. I got great grades, but just this, kind of icon of being a skateboarder, it might have come from like Fast Times at Ridgemont High or something like that. But skateboarders are tremendous athletes.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays, the way, with 2020 coming around with the Olympics, and the way I see kids trying to get better and do things that are, I didn't think were possible when I was their age, or still think it's possible. They're actually training now, which is pretty insane. So I didn't train. I just skated. I went to wax a curve and tried curve grinds all day until I got one.
So what would you suggest if you're a young board skater? What would you suggest as training? What are some of the good things to do?
I mean, from what I'm learning at the gym is, a lot of kind of recovery stuff is key for me, because we skate sometimes 6-7 hours. You don't know, you're out skating and you're just driving around a van, and you get back and you're sore. So it's a lot of foam rolling, a lot of
are guys lifting weights?
I don't personally.
Yeah.
I do a lot of stretching and more kind of leg exercises just to keep them fit. And I'm lazy. I don't like to lift weights. So
you're not lazy in business. I know one of your business partners is someone that's been on the podcast, one of my favorite pods, P-Rod.
Yeah.
And he's awesome. And you guys have a bearing company.
Yeah.
Right? Andale, first of all.
It is.
Let's get it straight, because people give me the wrong name. It's Andale Bearings.
Andale Bearings.
How'd you guys get into that business?
Well, the way I kind of started it was I was walking through the Maloof Money Cup, and my buddy Chico, another older veteran skater, still killing it. We're walking through with our beers trying to get to our seats. And he looks back and he's like, Andale, come on, fool. Like, you know, like we're drinking our beers and we got to our seat. I was like, wow, that's a great name. Yeah, great name for a bearing company. And he's laughing at me and kind of making fun of me like, it's stupid. And I'm like, all right, whatever. But, you know, marinating on the idea and coming off of doing the So Rad clothing line with Rusty, I kind of had some, you know, I had a taste of like what I would like to do to like create something. So started messing around with logos and figuring out how to trademark the name and things like that. And then the icing on the cake was like, I built the little business plan and the graphics and what it could be. And I went over and saw Paul at his skate park in the valley that when he was, you know, he had his skate park. I showed him everything and I was like, look, we could do this. You know, I found some manufacturers that could help us make bearings. We could test them. Here, you know, gave him some to test. And he gave me the green light and we just started doing it out of my garage.
And that's your first true venture? Is that
your
first time? Now, before, how old were you when you started?
Ooh, that was back in 2011, I believe.
Okay, so you were in the early 30s.
Yeah.
P-Rod was just a baby.
Yeah, he's still, you know, still a young man.
But he was born into the entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah, he was already had his
What was your
so
biggest
much.
fear? You know, it's different. You can be a championship skater like yourself, a great athlete, and all the things that you are. But, you know, running a sports agency for years, seeing people transition over to the business world, I see some of the most courageous athletes, which I consider skaters being some of the most courageous athletes in the world, literally be terrified once they get into the entrepreneurial business world.
It is definitely scary. I mean, I gave some setbacks for sure. There's times where I wanted to quit. I shipped our first distribution. We had two distribution orders that were being shipped out, and I'm doing all this by hand in my garage and trying to keep the numbers right or whatever. And I ship everything that's supposed to go to Texas, to South Shore. I ship it to Vista in Japan.
Oh no.
And, you know, they both hit me back up like, hey, we didn't order this and we didn't order this. And I was like, this sucks. I really want to quit right now. Cause I was just like, I'm a one-man band in my garage trying to make all this happen. And I really messed up. So that was a setback where I was really kind of unsure if I really wanted to do it. But then I realized, you know what? You know, I wrote it off. I let them keep the shirts, no cost. Like you just kind of have to like lose that money for that instant and then reinvest and keep going.
Yeah, I think people don't have the understanding of business like they do sports. So you can lose a game, you can lose a tournament, right? You can fall and get hurt. But when we're doing sports or participating, we always know there's tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I find that when I'm coaching entrepreneurs, that they don't have the same attitude. Their initial fear or their initial thought is, I'm done, right? And you know, most millionaires in America, on average, have gone bankrupt twice. That means they've gone all in, they've lost, gone all in, they've lost, and now they're successful. Yeah. And I think that's what it takes to be a professional skater.
I mean, yeah, we learn from our mistakes all the time on our boards. I mean, that's a battle. Like, there's days you go out and skate and you're like, you think you're getting a trick, and then you come home depressed, like, damn, I almost had it. What happened? You know? And that does transfer into owning a business and growing in that direction as well.
Fear of failure is something that you have every time you go out and skate, because you could seriously get injured.
Oh yeah, die. Yeah, it's true. You can get ran over by a bus out there pushing.
Do you see a comparison? Right. I mean, you literally could die skating. Yeah. Is there a comparison in the fear? Like, you know what it feels like to be a professional skater and do things that other people physically can't do, the majority of everyone on earth. But in business, do you have you feel the same level of fear? Is it less or even more?
There's a tremendous fear. You know, you want your growth to grow, to keep growing. You know, it's like this. And sometimes when it's like this, like, what are we doing wrong, right? Like, you kind of have to go and try to do new things to see if you could elevate your brand more, or, you know, like, it's definitely scary. That whole, you know,
learning curve.
You know, it's so hard.
So it's interesting because P-Rod's your partner, and one of the things that I like about him is he learned a valuable lesson, which most entrepreneurs don't get. I believe you have to make a choice in business. Either you're going to build a business or you're going to make money. And what Paul does really well is when he goes into business, he's there to make money. And he exits businesses, he invests in businesses, and he's very clear that, like, I'm in business to make money.
Yeah.
There comes a point when you build a business that you can turn the switch on and say, okay, now, but they're different philosophies. You have a lot of other businesses that you're working on.
Yeah,
kind of show us what you're doing and tell me, is this about making money or building the business first?
Well, so we started a shoe company, and we basically got into the shoe business with my business partner having knee surgery as a young skater, right?
Yeah.
And what he did is he went to China. He had this knee surgery, went to China. And, well, I'll start over with that. My business partner, had some knee issues. He went to doctors and specialists. He was prescribed custom orthotics, and they were like $500 with health insurance, right?
Right.
And he's a skater, and that was kind of his end of his career skating, right? Because his knee was done, and he had all this trouble with it. But he was so blown away by the amount of money it cost for a custom orthotic that he sold everything, flew to China, found factories, started developing insoles, and that's, he ended up creating these amazing materials which, come in our shoes. I can pull one of these out, but
yeah.
He invented this material, which I don't know if you could see this from anywhere, but like I have all those little tests, but it's like it stops. It's an energy absorbing insole. So he started developing that.
Can I see the shoe too?
Yes,
these are
the
all styles,
shoes.
Right? They're killer. It's for skating.
That's the shoe. There's like a little pamphlet of like how it's designed. So he patented this on the shoes.
It's a size 9, just so everyone knows. Look at that.
Oh, what?
Right.
I might have to.
There we go. You got your first customer today.
But he developed. It's called Fluid X. He with the shoes, basically, he's pouring the whole materials inside of our shoes, and the same material he's developed has now NASA's hit him up.
Really?
So he's building.
But no engineering background at all. He's just
nothing.
A skater.
He just went, figured out how to make custom orthotics cheaper, and for the right people that need them, skaters.
Yep.
And now we moved from the custom orthotics into shoe making, because he was like, well, shoes should be energy absorbent as well, not rebound and all that energy going back into your knees. Shoes have been he's basically developing shoes for skateboarders and athletes in a way that is meant for their bodies to be reactive with them, right? And that's how we got to this phase of making shoes.
And how did you get involved, right? Where does that come about? Because you're one of those people, it seems like you like to partner with people for your business.
Well, the very beginning, he started the insoles, right?
Yeah.
And he gave me some, and I was riding them. And at that point, he was looking for athletes to endorse his product.
Yeah.
And he didn't have money. So he was like, hey, look, I could give you equity to do this.
Oh, right on.
So he presented equity to a handful of pros, and that's how he started, with getting the right people to endorse his product. And then the shoe idea was my idea.
Nice.
I was like, dude, you should be making shoes, like,
to complement
why aren't we, like, let's just do a shoe program and make this thing something that isn't out there for everybody.
So what is the price point?
These go for, I think these are $49
with the insole.
The whole thing is around $49, $59.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And it's
you guys got to start getting endorsements of executive speakers around the world.
Yeah, dude, we could totally
like the Gary V. K-Swiss. Yeah. I could have my own deal.
Let's
and
work
speak in
on
front
that.
of thousands of people instead of these things. I'll gladly wear those. I got a speaking engagement tonight. I'll jump on stage.
Throw them in.
Exactly. I'll be your first corporate endorsement.
Get you a golf ball and
exactly.
do the trick.
I'll do right there. Those stages are hard. I can have a knee injury.
Yeah. Well, that's where we're at. Is now it's he's developed this awesome product.
Yeah.
how do we take it to the mainstream? How do we take it to police officers, nurses, people that are on their feet all day that could really benefit from the product, right? That's where we're at. 'Cause we're a bunch of skaters. We know how to get it to CCS and, Skate Warehouse, those kind of, retail stores. But how do we tell the story and get all the working class? Because I feel like this is something bigger than just skateboarding at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if NASA's,
Yeah, that's a pretty big endorsement to have NASA looking at the impact.
Yeah.
But a lot of things are about absorbing the impact, not just in your feet. But I, personally think the feet are the most essential. Now, as an entrepreneur, whose idea is you have a partnership. I have a rule about partnerships. Number one, if you're gonna have a partnership, don't do it. Rule 2, if you do it, make sure your partner has more money than you.
Yeah.
And then 3, if you don't listen to rule 1 or 2, go back to rule number 1.
Yeah.
Partnerships are like marriage.
No, it is.
Right? And a lot of people, this is for entrepreneur, they have experienced the good and the bad of partnership. You seem to be able to really excel in these partnerships. Why do you think that is?
I think it's just the passion and like looking at it the same way I look at filming a video part. I don't want my video part to suck. You know what I mean? Like I'm putting a video part out. I want to spend time and kind of plan out the way the whole part's going to look, right? And I feel like with a brand, you kind of have to do those same steps.
And piece together all the different people that are involved.
Exactly.
And you seem to pick really good partners. Now, do you have any other entrepreneurial ventures that you're working on?
I got involved with the Black Plague thing early on when they started doing that. So it's like me, Tony Hawk, Nige, like a bunch of us just
got involved.
Invested in that. And that was just tasting beer at Jordan Hoffert's house, and his like business proposal. But he had a great business plan. He had a plan where, he lived next door to the brewmaster. The brewmaster was already going to every micro beer competition there was in San Diego at that point and winning them, getting first place, plaques and all this stuff. So once they started the beer company, we have those plaques because he's the beer master. So the brand already has a winning beer, and it's taken off. We've only been in business for a year, and what Jordan and them have done down there is insane. The growth that they've.
Is P-Rod involved with that one too?
No, he did.
He already sold his other one.
He's involved with St. Archer.
Yeah, I didn't know if they would allow him to do that.
No, but this one is, this was just, and there's no plans. I think Jordan, the brewmaster, are very dedicated to it, and it's just growing and just. And
now, obviously you're getting a little bit older. How much longer do you want to skate?
I mean,
competitively.
Competitively, I don't want to skate competitively. I just want to skate. I feel like my strong point is putting out tricks and technical tricks that haven't been done. Like I'm still putting out stuff that I feel that is better than I put out ever in the past. So I'm always, and I think that's also part of it. It's like I'm always thinking of like, how can I do this and do it differently?
But what you also do well is what I call you capture, amplify, and perpetuate your technical skills by utilizing social media and content.
Yeah.
And how important is the social media and content part of capturing what you do and then amplifying it to so many different people? And are you integrating all your products into those?
Yeah, I feel like I'm flooding the products now, which is probably not as cool. I mean, it sucks because you kind of have to do that, but I feel like if a kid or someone's following me, they're following me because they want to see me do something crazy, right? Like that's what they want to see.
Yeah.
And I feel like, it went from like 95% of that. Now it's down to like 75%. Now it's like I'm mixing in the technology of the shoes and things like that. So
we'll get you a big entrepreneur following.
Maybe.
And that'll be a lot easier on your body, man. People just want your business advice because you're so good at it.
That would be amazing. I sat down with Mikey Taylor at Tori Pudwell's wedding and had a great conversation about stuff. So
well, I'm happy to help you as well. Last question. I love asking skateboarders this, but I don't think people realize how philanthropic you guys are, right? You do a lot for charity, a lot for kids. And it is, I'd rather have my kid outside skateboarding than playing Fortnite, right? It's a lot healthier. There's so many cool things, creativity, strength,
sunlight,
flexibility, sunlight, beach, whatever. But what legacy would you like to leave when it's all said and done?
Just that I pushed myself and skateboarding as much as I could, in a direction that I thought I did, right? Like
inspire others to do the same.
And skating is such a crazy place right now. Everyone's so good, and social media is so crazy that the tricks that are going down daily that are mind blowing is insane. How I don't know how you could keep up with skateboarding right now. It's that crazy.
Too much going on. It's all captured. It's awesome.
It's it's amazing.
Well, I've been a big fan, and I wish I could do what you did. And this is a great way to have the inaugural Red Bull Consulate podcast. Not too bad. And like I said, I'd be happy to be of assistance and help you with any deals. Because you're a technical guy in skateboarding. I'm a pretty technical guy with business. And
perfect.
I like to make money, help people, and have fun. And I think you guys, P-Rod and you definitely are aligned with that.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, this is Dave Meltzer with Joey Brezinski on Entrepreneur, the Playbook.